Good morning, everybody. Make sure I got my shoes in the car. I got all my stuff on my way to work. Let me try to get out before this yellow bus. Okay, so Bill Cosby, they said they want to give him 3 to 10 years. You know, I'm trying to learn how to express myself without screaming and getting all worked up for it. I believe Bill Cosby is innocent. I believe in that, and I was looking at the rap sheet of all these women that accused him. 2 of them were attorneys, but both of them, those same attorneys, got banned from law because they were stealing from their own clients. The black lady, she has a long rap sheet of doing drugs, a history of lying, and all of this stuff. You know, the love of money is the root of all types of evil. But I am convinced that the court system is corrupt. It's been corrupt since day one. And when it comes to black, and I'm speaking this as a black woman, but when it comes to fairness, especially with black men, please. I'm not only in shock, but at the same time, you must, especially if you black, you have to have just a teensy bit. You know, we don't fear, but the odds against you. Take it from a woman who was in court and saw the injustice. Any minority. Now, I was sitting here and I was thinking this morning about the young lady. Was it Casey Anthony? Remember the white lady who was riding around with her daughter's corpse in her trunk, going out clubbing and stuff. Right now, this woman, I think she has another child now. She walked away like it was a nothing. When you look at the Ziggerman case, isn't that the one not stand your ground, but he shot and killed that boy with the hoodie on? And yet he's sitting up here taking pictures with the Confederate flag. You gotta be out your rabbit mind if you think that this didn't hit home, or the reality and the truth is the injustice, the prejudice, the bias, the untold truth. And I said to myself, even if we already know the man innocent, because how do you have these sluts, whores, hookers, Jezebel, old women in your 60s coming out to lying and saying, I don't remember, I just took this pill. They were all whores. Do I believe Bill Cosby? No, I don't. I don't. And it lets you know this too. Every last one of them knew the man was married. I don't believe it. If you ask me, hashtag Rosewood. A black man did it. At first I said, man, I'm not even going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But I feel it, like in my gut. I'm like, this man is 80-something years old. He deserves it. How do you know that? How do you know? That's what they said. That you think the Easter Bunny is real? You know, when I went to court, you know what they said? You know what they tried to do? They tried to tarnish my character by saying that I was violent, that I was this, that I was that. I mean, they went, and it shocked me. It shocked the crap out of me that you're supposed to be a Christian and you are lying. It shocked me, and I felt for the first time, this is what black men deal with. Minority men, Latino, anyone who is not white, this is what you deal with. I have heard with my own ears. White men say. It's a good thing I'm white. Oh, they're not going to mess with me because I'm white. So you don't ever tell me that there's not a thing called white privilege. We can ignore all we want to, but it's true. People go under the jail, in the jail, prosecuted, put to death because of crimes that they never committed. My folks were hanged because of the color of their skin. So when I see things like Bill Cosby, now wasn't there, what's the lady that liked to make muffins and all of that, Martha Stewart? Didn't she do something on a federal level, dealing with taxes and all this other stuff? She was chilling, had her slippers on while she was in jail and did what, a good 2 weeks. What about the woman who just killed this black man innocently and walked away like it was nothing? Then you tried to say, don't pull the race card. Well, guess what? I'm putting all the cards out there. This was racist. This was so wrong. 40 years. Some of this stuff they talk about, she didn't meet him until, what, 1986? 82? 80? I'm like, I was born in 82. The injustice, the whole freaking system needs to be gutted out. We need new, Jesus Christ. We need new judges. Judges that are not going to say, people looking at me. This is on a bigger scale here, so I can't, even though I know he's an innocent man, I can't let him go free. Golly, man. What's up with this color that makes you feel so threatened? These chicks pop pills, man, was in the Playboy Mansion, giving head, knob, all types of stuff, messing with married men. Do I believe Bill Cosby is innocent? You damn right I do. You daggone right I do. Do I believe the Christians over in California are innocent? Yes, I do. People who read the Bible, who are against this sin that's flying out, I do. I believe it. They're innocent. You got a bunch of... I already said I'm not going to get worked up about it. But I'm not going to sit up here and deny it. Take it from somebody who married a white man. I found out very quickly what my color means, especially in the court. I found out very quickly how they will tarnish your freaking character. They will lie on you. They will put you under because you don't fit in their quote unquote house standards. And then we try to say racism is over. Take it from the man. I was looking on YouTube. Black man riding in a white woman's car. I think that was his girlfriend or something. He whipped out a camera. They had both of them put to the side. She was driving the car. They pulled her over because they said her tint was too low. The tint's on the car. When the black man, when they were asking him questions, he was like, I wasn't driving. I don't know why you're asking me these questions. The black man pulled out a camera. Now, this man was on the passenger side. You know what the police did? Yeah, okay, nigga. You know what he did? He planted marijuana on film on the passenger side of the car. And you know what he said? The drug is a drug, and we found it on the passenger side, so we're going to charge you. I said to myself, am I seeing this? And the only reason why this man got off is because he had it on camera. Does that police officer still have his job? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. The judge threw it out of court, and you barely heard it on the news. This happens every single freaking day, and you try to tell me, don't pull the race card. I'm still going to look at Cosby Show. I'm still going to look at what Cosby has done. And those that try to strip him and say, oh, this, that, or give him back his money then. Those of you who sit there and ignore that, don't worry. They only made him an example. And don't think for one moment because, oh, well, that doesn't. Trust and believe me. If you got this color skin, honey, there's always going to be somebody, unless, like I said, we got the whole system out. Because that mind frame comes from somebody's great-granddaddy, 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 and a society that tells you be very afraid of a black man who's done nothing. Emmett Till said hello to a white woman. It wasn't until years later that the white woman really told the truth and said he never did anything. Did she get any jail time? But yet the boy body was found at the bottom of a freaking river. Unrecognizable. And I remember seeing that a video, a documentary of that when I was only 8 years old. You know what I honestly feel? I feel like there was a deal that was given to Bill Cosby that he refused to take. And they told him, you don't take this deal, we would take you freaking down. We would accuse you of this. People can do that? People can plant stuff in your car. They can lie to you on your job. They can write a letter on you and you had nothing to do with it. I don't get it. Hillary Clinton, what happened to Benghazi? All of those emails and everything that you erased from your freaking computer, you walked away like, hey, I don't care, I'm rich, I can do this. What about the black woman or the young girl who supposedly got raped by all of these young white boys in college? And they all got off. If you think for one moment, I believe that all of these women out of nowhere crying and huffing and what's up with the black chick with the afro with her boobs hanging out? I am not a feminist, okay? So all of that was a show. But then I said, you know what? Y'all dumb as heck out here. Y'all believe anything. Y'all believe Santa Claus real? Y'all believe the Easter Bunny? You believe the devil don't exist, so you daggone sure don't believe in God. Oh, you know what? It's so wrong what he did to all of those women. Oh my God, I can't believe. You know what? He's a rapist. Girl, if you don't shut up. They all said it, so it has to be true. Shut up. Shut up. Like I said, I went to court. Just had a baby, C-section. And I was told as a black woman, I was bitter, I was violent, I was this, I was that. And yet I can't even say nothing about this. Because you may say, oh, Ramona, you're pulling the race car. You daggone right I'm pulling the race car. And you know it too. Especially some of y'all white folks out there, you know it. You know there are some, you know you got KKK members in your family. And then you looking like, really? You really thinking like that? Yeah, you know it. You know it. Like I said, I got a white guy, and he's cool as all get up. And I even told somebody, I got respect for him because you know what he told me? This was, I think it was it Fredericksburg I was talking about, looking at property up there. And he told me, you know, Fredericksburg, I used to stay up there. The good old boys live there. The Ku Klux Klan lived there. That's what he told me. He told me this 2 weeks ago. But don't pull the race card. Racism don't exist. People never got hung before. Slavery never exists. Until this country can acknowledge that and acknowledge the families that you have dismembered, Reparation was never done. Yet these institutions, these families have made multiple money on lying, on stealing, on killing, on selling human trafficking and breeding. And I can't say nothing about it, right? Because if I do, you're just pulling the race card. I can go 3 generations back and show you how my folks worked this daggone country with no respect. And still to this day, no respect. Liars. That's why they say if you don't know your freaking history, it can repeat itself. It's sad. It's sickening. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare that people can come out and accuse 20, 30 different people can come out and say Ramona did this. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I know I'm going to get off of this because that's not true. And I found myself fighting for my life in jail. So many men are in jail right now because I had a dream. Remember the dream? These men, these were black men. Some of them were in jail because they refused for someone to search them. Don't even have representation and lost in the system. If you can stay away from court, stay out of it, stay away from it. Because it's like a tangled up web. Don't you ever tell me that racism does not exist when my own husband told me, babe, I'm fine, I'm white. What? It's another side I never heard before. He said on his father's side, they were at the table one time, and I think he said he overheard his uncle said, they don't even let us call them niggers anymore. What? You gonna tell me racism don't exist? Boy, get out of my face. Lady, get out of my face. Bill Cosby is innocent. This is a sad, sad, sad case. And I guess anyone who doesn't go with the mainstream media that I hate to look at, don't look at. And I guess when I was looking at Alex Jones, you see how they rocking on him. Soon it's going to be, you all need to take the chips. No, you don't have to take the chip, but you won't be able to buy, sell, and trade. Media don't discuss about Bible ban in California, right? Soon it's going to be more than just your race and your color. But I ain't done by far. I am not done by far. 80 years old. And then somebody said, this tarnished him. It didn't tarnish him. Because I'm still going to look at his shows. I'd much rather look at him than some daggone Bruce Jenner. Or the Kardashians. Why would I look at them? I guess their standard is different. She can slob knob, give head, get married 20 different times, and still be in the White House next to the president. Cheese. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. When people say good is evil and evil, no, when they say bad is good and good is bad. It's like, what am I, in the Twilight Zone here? This is bad. Minority, men, Latinos, Spanish, I don't care who you are. I feel bad for you. But then again, don't feel bad for me. I got the Lord, but I'm going to tell you something right now. The justice system, horrible. You can't possibly have an institution that's been going for how long with the mind frame of a black man is always guilty. You got to have money. That's why I say if I was ever an official, a president, the first thing I'll do is all of this, $40,000 to get an attorney. Everybody has a right to represent themselves. I would redo all of that because it's a money-making business. And it doesn't matter if you are innocent. It's a political game. It's a bias situation. It's a buyout agreement. Mona, you really don't believe? Heck no. Every last one of them heifers are lying. The hashtag Me Too movement, really? These druggies, men in dresses, what y'all call them? Trannies, transgenders. He did this to me. Somebody ought to kick her in her face. Girl, shut up. There are real women out here who have gotten raped, molested, and still going through it, and you lying through your freaking teeth. You just so happen to catch the bus to the Playboy Mansion. You tell everybody, yeah, I've had sex with over 1,000 men. You sue somebody when you've been barred from being an attorney because you corrupt. These are the faces of all of the women who accused him. Some models even came out and said that they really tried to pay her to say that Bill Cosby molested her, and she refused to do so. What do we say about that? Well, you know what? Shut up. God, shut up. You know what? Certain things frustrate me, especially when it comes to God's word. When I say something and other people don't get it, you know why you don't get it? Because you're not one of God's children. The Lord says, my sheep hear my voice. I smell bull when I see bull. I know a lie when I see one, but you try to tell me it's the truth. 80 years old, going blind in one eye, talking about 3 to 10 years. So what, by the time he hit 90, like, he not even gonna be alive. I pray in the mighty name of Jesus that every last one of them who dug a ditch go right in it. I do not believe anything that any one of them heifers have to say. Excuse my mouth. I don't believe it. No. I don't believe it. He didn't go along with that Illuminati mess. That's what happened. They told him, we want to do this, that, and the third. Nope. Well, Bill, if you don't do it, you know we can take you down. Who was it? David Chappelle been talking about it. That's why I said to myself, I am so happy that my so-called rap thing that I was doing, pop, never made it. Because you would have to give up so much to be down for some corruptness. When the love of money is the root of all evil. I bet if this dude was broke, not one single penny, you wouldn't see jack. No, nobody would have said, what? Another one, I'm so happy that he, girl, you don't get out. The other one, the afro, screaming with her breasts hanging out. Like, I gotta show the blackness in my afro. Girl, you should be glad I'm a Christian. Because the things that I really want to say would not be Christ-like. But I will say this, you're a liar. You are a freaking liar. Just like I said, that girl, she was somewhere so upset. You know what she did? She blamed being raped by this black man, innocent black man. He wasn't even there. They pulled him up in a lineup. He was nowhere near her. She said he did it. Well, you know, later on down the line, some years later, homegirl got saved and was convicted for putting an innocent man in jail. So she finally came forward and said, I lied. He had nothing to do with it. He took this man's life. Men coming out of jail 35, 40 years of crimes they never even committed. And you know what? Majority of the time, the DA, everybody knew he didn't commit the daggone crime, but they had to pin somebody. So why not a black man? Black man gets pulled over by a cop, gets shot. Now he's dead. There's a funeral, and nobody says anything about it. Black woman goes to jail in Texas. She hooping and hollering and screaming. Next thing you know, they're rolling her body out in a gurney. She dead. Nobody says anything about it. I just be wondering, like, why does my color offend you so much? There's something about this color. And I was like, Lord, what's up with the black color? Like, why is it everywhere you go? And I realized there's something very significant about black people. That the devil hate, that he will use people to hurt them. There's something very significant. I'm so sorry, like, people better know their history. Some people don't believe I was never a slave. That didn't ever happen to me. That ain't ever gonna happen to me. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. If you don't get with their agenda, then they coming at you. They coming for you. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid when it comes to this thing. I'm not stupid when it comes to racism. I was born in 1982. I'm not stupid when I see people stereotype you. And I guess some people would think, well, Ramona, you married a white man. I did marry, and I don't regret marrying a white man because I fell in love with that white man. But I will tell you this. I found out very seriously just how much people think about black people. He donated over $20 million of his own money. As soon as he tried to preach to his people, his own people turned on him. I can believe it. But they're gonna be the same ones crying and hooping and hollering because you wasn't sitting there knowing your own history. That's why I say some of these people, some of these youngins, black and white, blue, they don't know nothing about World War II. They don't know nothing about any soccer. The only thing they know is I could push your button and I get everything when I get everything. They don't care who sacrificed. Y'all keep going in and out. Oh my gosh, I gotta put my charge in. Do you know what people have sacrificed for you to get an education? They don't even realize at one point in time, black people weren't allowed to read. They were not allowed to read or write. And if they ever caught you doing that, they were gonna kill you on the spot. Why? Because you may get too good for your own good. You may get too smart for your own good. They didn't want you to have free. And yet some of you young stupid kids out here hooking school. You weren't allowed to sit at the front of the bus. You weren't allowed to go to this particular grocery store. You were not allowed to go to this particular school. And if you ever thought about going into this field, what? You weren't allowed to do that. You weren't allowed to pick and choose who you were going to meet. You weren't allowed to pick and choose who you were going to marry. You weren't allowed to eat at the table. You ate chitlins in the backyard, bare feet in the freaking snow. But y'all want me to forget that, though, and say this is a new day. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why it's saying my phone is running hot. What's a Jim Crow law, Mona? What's a Jim? You don't know that? You don't know what a Jim Crow? You don't know what Jim Crow is? That wasn't too long ago. That was in my grandparents' day. My nana and my grandfather still living. I bet you when some of these young black kids see the Ku Klux Klan outfits, they'll probably be like, what is going on? They think it's Halloween. You don't know what that is? You probably wouldn't even know what a freaking shackle is. You probably think it's a daggone bracelet. I ain't stupid. Them women are lying, liars, lying, liars. And the court is on. What you said? I think the prison system is a beast that can't mess with. Hell, even Michael Jordan invests millions. They need black people killing each other. New slavery prison. Exactly. And that's why I don't understand how people can go and be so comfortable in an orange suit making, what is it that they make every daggone day? License plates. They had one, and I never forget looking at this documentary on I don't know what's going on, but it seems to me that my phone is either running hot or whatever. But yeah, I believe that jail is the new slavery system. Got you all locked up, got you all in chains, telling you all when to go to the bathroom. That's why I don't understand how dudes can be they can so easily give up their freedom. Walking around with drugs and guns on easily. But what about the ones who literally was on their way to work and got pulled over in a lineup? Women didn't do anything but got pulled over in a lineup. I remember one time I went inside of a freaking, what was it, a Subway with some type of deli. I had to be like, I was in Westminster, Maryland, and you know they prejudice up there. I had to be like maybe 14, 15. A little white girl looked at me like, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why is she looking like this? And the white guy, the owner, said, were you just in here probably about 2 hours ago? And I'm like, no, I just got in town. Oh, we're sorry. It was a group of black girls and they were fighting. So you just thought I was one of them. I was 15 years old, and I'll never forget. This white guy called me a niggerette. My mother wouldn't allow me to go to school because it was a predominantly white school, and she knew her daughter ain't playing that if I go up in there and all of these racist remarks are going to be coming at me. And I'm 36. Equality to me starts when we first all understand that there is a huge, America made its money off of slavery. They didn't make it from stocks and trade and stuff. No, it was on slavery. The buildings you see, the historical sites you see, on slavery. Families with wealth after wealth and generational wealth, slavery. And it wasn't just here, it was around the world. We were the computer. My folks were the computer. And then you still, like I said the other day, this lady, I spoke to her. She seemed like I don't know if she's Latino or what. I mean, I know she speaks Spanish or something. But I know she got a little bit of black in her. She tells me that and I remember seeing when her daughter got locked up. I thought her daughter got locked up because she was fighting her. No, she tells me, my daughter got locked up because a Spanish girl told her, you need to go back to Africa. And she said, my daughter hit her because she never been in Africa. And I was thinking to myself, should I be offended by this? On both ends. So they gave her daughter, 14 years old, 7 days in jail for hitting a Latino girl who told her to go back to Africa. So you racist, and I guess you would be racist too, because you just said, I'm not black. Pow. What? She never been to Africa. She from this country. And I'm like, I'm black. You know how many people think I came off the boat yesterday? And none of my people look, you can go back great. I know that I have black folks that came off the mothership. Generations that I traced back were here, including the natives. I got great grandparents that were Indian. But it offended this little girl so much, she punched the other little girl for telling her, you black, go back to Africa. I got a friend who is Spanish, who's Latino. And she tells me that some people in her family are dark skinned and they call them negro. And they treat them differently. And even like the Latinos call each other spics, or if they not, they just look down at them. Really. But if you're dark skinned, they really look down at you. And then they sit there and say, we're not racist. No, we're not. We just don't think you should be in our neighborhood. We just don't think you're qualified for this position. And because all of us think you did it, we think you're guilty. Get out of my face. There's something about this. And if you feel offended because I said it's something about the black skin, then why? I sit up here and I like to look up ancient Egypt and all of this. See how they chisel off them noses. Light the paint color up real quick. There's something about this that make you feel like you hate it. Then I go and I say, okay. Egypt is in Africa. Ancient Egypt was Egypt before Africa was called Africa, right? It surprised the heck out of me when I saw and I read that when Joseph and Mary had Jesus, they fled to Egypt. They didn't get in a car. They didn't fly. And I said, wait a minute. Egypt is in Africa. Jesus? No wonder why the devil hates this. Because this is all up in the Bible. No wonder why he hates it. I had to ask God why. Why are we the most hated race? Why? Y'all better wake up and smell the freaking coffee, the roses. I don't believe them heifers not one bit. He gave it to me 260 years ago. You can't even tell me what you did 2 years ago. You on drugs. Matter of fact, I see your mug shot right here. You known to be suing everybody. He molested me, but I still went around him and bought him gifts and everything. Really? But I can't remember what happened. But I think he forced me to give him oral sex or something like that. He put an AK to your head, 22 to your dome. Like, how can you force somebody to give you head to perform oral sex? You have to be willingly to do that. I mean, I'm just trying to understand this. I got turned down certain jobs because, oh, we thought you were Spanish when we saw your name. So, no, that's okay. There are certain places in the United States that I refuse to go because I'm afraid if I go there, I may not make it back. I may not make it back. When my father had to go to Alabama, and I told my father, Dad, because I wasn't trying to go down there. I was going to send him down there on the train, but he on dialysis. So you know what I told my father? Dad, we're going to pack this car up, but I'm telling you right now, we not stopping. We literally didn't stop unless we had to go to the bathroom. We going to Alabama here. I know about Alabama. I know my history. I ain't dumb. I'm up here riding with my father and got a real high yellow baby in the back seat. Shoot. And we did just that. I did not stop the freaking vehicle until the car hit E. And then we pulled over and gassed up, used the bathroom, jumped in the car, and kept it moving. I was like a trucker. Do you hear me? We ain't stopping. I know some Monas that's you. I know some Monas that's you. We ain't stopping. And you know what? I got pulled over too when I got to the sticks. And you know why I got pulled over? Because the police officer said I wasn't going fast. That's because when I saw that police car, I said, oh, I'm slowing down. 55. He told me just to do 70. I said, you know what? You're right, sir. I'll do 70, sir. I'm not dumb. Mona, you don't have to be like that. Tell that to somebody else that don't know. It's still backwards, ain't it? I went to, I'll never forget, years ago, I went to Louisiana. They had these beautiful porcelain dolls. They had the white ones and they had the couple of them were black ones. All the white dolls had shoes on, but the black doll didn't. And I said, I want to buy this as a porcelain gorgeous doll. And I asked the lady, can I take the shoes off of the white doll and put it on? She was like, no, can't do that here, hon. I said, but why not? They got shoes on. Well, can't do that here. Don't you ever tell me that racism don't exist. My own in-laws would never even put up their own son and his wife picture in their house of our wedding. They had their daughter, they had their son-in-law, but heck no, we're not going to have no black face up in our house. I ain't dumb. And I told my husband that too. It's cool. They almost cracked a brick when they found out I was black. Stopped in Money, Mississippi to see the Emmett Till. Shoot. So I'm not gonna lie, in certain places that I'm like, that's the reason why I have not traveled or gone far, because some people still got that mentality. They look at me like a nigga. I ain't dumb. I'm not dumb. And I ain't stupid. And I'm not going to put myself in a messed up situation. Many black leaders already laid down the book. The book black people as a whole refuse to follow that blueprint. No one really wants to separate from the monsters. Most of them love the white man way. My thing about it is this, okay? Trying to hold on to that racist torch, and they all going to hell. There is my thing about it is this: if we are Christians, we believe in Jesus Christ, it should not have no barriers, black or white. But as a black woman, I am not stupid. I am not. If I was ever ignorant, like I said, when I was going through my divorce, I found out very quick just what black men go through when they go into the system, and black women too. Anyone who is of color, I found out very quick how unfair the justice system is. Now, I don't want to get into the white man and this, that, and the third, because one thing I found out too, my grandfather, he cannot stand white folks. He would talk about white folks this, white folks that. But I almost fell on the ground when my white husband came to dinner. My grandfather, as dark as he is, his grandmother was white. White as snow. I'm not talking about she looked mixed. She was white. I didn't find this out until I got married. And I'm looking like, golly, granddad, for you to have so much hate, you got white in you. Majority of us do. Majority of us do. You gotta recognize racism when you see it and know that this thing is not to be ignored. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say the white man that and the black man is, because it's a catch-22. A black man took my brother's life. Yes, he did. He shot and killed my brother. But I also know too that it's called evil. It's called evil, but I do know the difference. There is a thing in this country called white privilege. And they will tell you, I've overheard it, honey. I've heard it come out the mouths of these folks. Stuff that I know, I'm like, I can't do that. You're like, oh, I can do it. I'm fine. I'm white. I can get away with this. It's nothing to do it. I'm like, really? I couldn't do that. But when we have people with that mentality who really feel like they are privileged, then they will always feel like they are inferior to those who are not their race. That's why, in order for history not to repeat itself, we need to know our history. Instead of listening to this nasty music, skipping school, thinking it's cool to have on an orange jumpsuit, thinking because you got money you can buy everything, including your own freedom. No. You found out very, very quick. And I'm going to tell you something. Bill Cosby grew up in the era. In that freaking era. And he knew better. That's why I don't believe in that one time at all. Heck freaking no. He grew up in Jim Crow laws. He knows how it is when he wasn't allowed because him being black. He fought to get there. And trust and believe he was told, don't mess with them white women. He grew up in that era. That's why I don't believe this. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all. Anyway, y'all. All of them, all 80 of them came out of nowhere. Me too. Hashtag me too. I need me some coffee. He in chains, can barely lost his son, then lost his daughter. Telling people, have pride in yourself. Stop cussing. Pick your pants up. And they hated him for that. And then everybody, this just ruined the families, American Dad. This didn't ruin nothing. This just show how nasty y'all are, how trifling you are, and what ends you will go to destroy somebody. This tells you, if you think that these people won't do the same thing to you, they're conjuring up something new here that is dying off. They got a thing called hate crime, terrorism, but yet and still you can still have marches on our grounds with KKK members in sheets and say that this is just their way of expressing freedom. What? You know how on cable they show like these old documentaries around the war? I almost fell on the ground when I saw the entire Pennsylvania Avenue, right, not too far from me, had a. When I tell you, this made the Million Man March look silly. Nothing but white sheets, KKK members walking and marching with burning crosses, the United States of America. And I'm looking at this history and I'm saying these people want to kill me and my people. I'm supposed to look at this and say, is you crazy? Go down there in them backwoods and you won't find daylight and won't nobody know where you at, all them acres back there, and you really want to tell me you're pulling the race card here. Really? And there was a news media who said, well, the reason why we feel that the KKK is going about it wrong, the reason why this is not going to work again. What? You giving them pointers to put me in shackles? They had my people fleeing and fled. Do y'all know? But yet we got hate crimes here. If somebody say something out of their mouth, you ready to throw the book at them. You call this person a terrorist and you checking him down because he got a turban on and a long beard. But this Bama can walk around with a sheet that basically has death on it, given to them by their great-great-grandparents that did nothing but going on black killing sprees. Hanging and killing innocent kids and children. What happened to Rosewood and all that land that was taken away from those black families? And until the United States apologize and give up some reparation for it, I can't. Don't tell me, Mona, you pulling race card. It's deeper than that. It's because of my skin that threatens the devil. It's something about the color of my skin. Bill Cosby is innocent. Anyone who believes that he did it, I can't. I can't.